Hello Tarot fans, welcome to another edition of Blue Sicx Tarot. I'm your fantastic host Blue Sicx. Thank you very much for watching. Now in today's video you could say I'm very asthma pumped to be doing this because the... What? What do you mean? Because of the inhaler? What do you mean that's not part of the video about inhaler? What do you mean I've misread the script again? Hold on. Okay. Oh! Right, okay, I thought this said inhaler. Okay, sorry. So I may have to redo the intro again, sorry, 1 second. Ah, much better. So in today's video, we'll be doing a review of the Vlad Dracula Tarot, brought to you by the same people who did the Occult Tarot that you'll see on my other video series. So without further ado, roll on that intro. Shut up, Joe, you always get to wear the horns in your video. I'll get to wear some in mine, surely. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at Vlad Dracula Tarot. So this is actually quite a large box, as I said, similar to the Occult Tarot. So I'm going to get the old tape measure out, and the box itself is 18 centimeters by 13 centimeters. Now the box itself kind of has a very felt sort of feeling to it. Felt feel always feels a bit weird to say. With a cool little dragon logo. So of course on the back. And it is published by Rockpool. On the back you have a very kind of medieval style artwork, as you can see there. And of course you've got your nice little description on the back that I'll leave you to pause to read at your convenience. Try to get the light properly there. So yeah, once again, very nice feel. Perfect for this sort of season. So I'll just take a look at the box itself, a bit stiff. And you have this inside. So this doesn't have the Bram Stoker look to it or feel. It is standard medieval sort of artwork. But quick look at the book. The book is quite detailed in its art and in its meanings. Quickly scroll to the front. You do have, of course, your interesting spreads. I might start doing spread videos again. I'm not quite sure yet, but this is the sort of look that we have here. But coming to the cards themselves, first of all, you have nice gold sides there. So the Occult having red, and the same publisher also does Angel Tarot, which I might look into. And at the back of the cards themselves, so it's kind of like a matte rather than a gloss, but nice, nice coloration here. And kind of how the red kind of spreads around a bit, I think looks quite nice. So now we take a look at the majors. Just some of my favourite ones. So we're going to start off with my favourite card, the Fool. So throughout this deck you'll have this nice border on the top, which kind of looks like arches you'd see in a church. So of course, as it's Vlad Tepish, we've got a person impaled on in the background here. Also got the name, the number in the middle, and you've also got like a brief description at the bottom. This one says the present and his wife. So it's not necessarily a description of the card itself, but a kind of depiction of what you see in the back. So this is the artwork you're going to have throughout. Medieval style drawings that you might see that they would have put in books and stuff. So next we have the Hermit. Now I'm not going to read the bottom of each one because that will take me ages. As I said, you've got the Roman numerals on the top, and got Vlad Tepish in prison. But these, following a narrative structure, this deck doesn't necessarily follow on directly from standard tarot, so it does kind of do its own thing, but does it in an interesting way. Next, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which I quite like. So you've got Vlad there and some poor soul there and person all in black. But yeah, it's it's well, it works on the theme at least, the ups and downs. But yeah, it's pretty much the theme of this deck. So next we have the Star. Now there's a few. Now this doesn't quite feel to me like the Star. Feels more like the Moon. The Tower just has someone jumping off a tower, but it's still kind of an interesting look. As I said, it's still quite bloody, and I said some of the some of the other cards are a lot gorier than this. At last we look at the World, and yeah, and I think this is kind of indicative of the fact that he still considered himself a religious person. So this is more like Vlad Tepes, the man, rather than the myth of Dracula, or at least a kind of. So it says Vlad Dracula anoints as violated. I know I've misread that, but I'm not going to try and do it. But yeah, it still kind of has a stronger feeling of the historicity of the person. Now let's take a look at the minors. So first we have the Ace of Coins, and you can see there the image on the coin itself is the dragon. As most of us have seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, so we know his name means the dragon. So obviously you've got the title of the card at the top and the decoration at the bottom, and obviously your brief description below as well. So the artwork is still quite nice. I do like the kind of hills and mountains in the background and the trees there. Next we have the Ace of Cups. I like how basically lethal that this fountain looks with the spike at the top there, the church in the background there, because the chalices are still connected to the church, which is still quite interesting. But yeah, it's a peaceful scene, but still has that kind of edge of uncomfortability. Next we have the Ace of Stakes, and well, let's be honest, it's very apt for the character being portrayed in this. It does feel quite, once again, a very strong sort of feeling to that one. Last we have the Ace of Knives. It looks like, I know that's just a background thing, but it looks like it's in the rain. With a Turkish, I believe that's a Turkish style blade, as it's got the curved Persian maybe. Yes. Anyway, it's not as a strong feeling as some of the others have, but I feel that the stake has a stronger feeling to it. So next, we take a look at some of the minors. So let's take a look at the Seven of Coins. Now, I chose this one because I want to try and first of all limit how much gore I show on this. I don't really want this video to be age restricted, but this still kind of shows a lot of people suffering under the rule, even though they're not necessarily being tortured. And you've got this guy crying here. He appears a few times throughout the deck, but yeah, you can see these people are really struggling and they are not having a good time. They are basically enslaved and they do not enjoy it at all. Next we have the Seven of Cups. Once again, it's the same bloke, it looks like, and he's being boiled alive. Now, whether it's oil or water, I think oil is usually worse, but yeah, it's another way for him to do a nice bit of torturing, because if there's one thing we know about Dracula, is that the tortures. Moving on. So next up we have the the 9 of stakes, and I will probably have to age gate this. So it's one of those stories you heard where he would just sit down and eat whilst being around body parts. So yeah, enjoy that image. And last we have the 8 of Swords, where he's being arrested. He's being given his just desserts or any other form of after dinner meal. And now we take a look at the Page of Swords. Now this guy I like. he's just got so much presence. He's like, hey, I'm here, I've got my sword, I'm here to mess shiz up, son. Yeah, I am the big Will.I.am Defoe. William Defoe's previous carnation. Who knows? We don't know. Yeah. Well, next we have the Knight of Coins, and I kind of like him. Nice learning merchant. He's got his sack of gold, clutching his coin there. Yeah, he looks like a man of quite not self-esteem, but he looks like a guy who's just out there to earn a decent living without necessarily screwing everyone over. Next, take a look at the Queen of Stakes. Sorry. I like her. She has that kind of humble sort of look to her as well, because a lot of the some of the other Queens of Wands do tend to have a very kind of quiet, quiet pride in themselves, without necessarily being outrageous with it, such as like maybe the Queen of Coins, for example. But yeah, I like her. She feels very grounded, and she looks like she's the sort of person that can inspire. But she's the sort of person who'd put her hand on your shoulder and say, "You can do it," and then you can conquer the world. And last, we take a look at the King of Coins, and I just like this because Vlad's just having to dig his own grave. Well, it's not Vlad. It's Dan. It's Dan the Third. But yeah, I kind of like the kind of grimness to this. Yeah, it's very on theme. So, other thing I'd like to say is that I've not used this deck, as I'm not quite sure how I am with using cards now. But I would just still like to say that this deck does feel very smooth to spread. I always like to mention that because I would always find that helpful. The cards themselves are about standard size, so we're still looking at about 5 inches by 3 inches. So they're about the standard size for your normal tarot. But yeah, so I'll see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be putting out some more videos for the Halloween season, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.